Hi, welcome to my channel, Takoyaki Tarot. Today is Friday, April 11th, 2025. So, before I get started, I want to remind anyone that's watching that these messages are not going to resonate with everyone, and that's okay. If they resonate with you and gives you clarity, great. If it does not, then don't force it to be your story. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling cards. Oh, also, I posted another coloring video, so go check it out if you liked the first coloring video. You know, it's always like, because the colors are always much better in person, obviously, as like they almost all are, right? I don't know. I think coloring is fun and relaxing. So, if you feel like watching the process, go watch the videos. There's 2 coloring videos. I'm going to end up separating the videos just to make it easier. Alright, I'm going to keep my tarot videos, obviously, but I'm also going to do the coloring videos because it's fun. Why not? I could do that on my channel, right? But aside from that, it's just going to be, why did I want to say eclectic? That's a nice word. I like that word. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's like a collection. Let me look it up. Eclectic. Eclectic. Yeah. Deriving ideas, style, or taste from a broad and diverse range of sources. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much it in the eclectic combination of things that I enjoy. And it's interesting too, because the only reason why I'm doing it this way is because I've been getting a lot of compliments after compliments after compliments after compliments, and it's like, you know what, why don't I just show the process? You know, it's not that hard. Right, like with my models or my coloring or my tarot or whatever, I just do it, boom, 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 and then it's done, right? So it's fun to see, like, when you're starting from nothing and then you end up with something, but a lot of the times the process is what's most interesting, right? So a good friend of mine told me that people like to see the process. They like to see, you know, yeah, the finished product is amazing, of course, but how you get to the finished product, you know, it's very inspiring. And so when I was told that, that inspired me to keep doing it. So make sure you have good support system around you, right? Because that'll really make or break your ideas, your dreams, things like that, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because for some of you, you could be meeting people that you just met or you've known for a short amount of years, and they feel genuinely supportive of you and they seem genuinely supportive of you versus people you could have known in your childhood. And there's a big difference in that. And I read this, it's interesting because I read this thing, I think at the crack of dawn this morning, that said poor people tend to stay poor because they're afraid of being judged by other poor people for trying to get rich. How insane is that? Poor people tend to be poor because they're afraid of trying to get... No, poor people tend to be poor because they're afraid of being made fun of by other poor people for trying to be rich. So basically, it's just like people in your environment, people that you grew up with, you trying to do something different, break out of the cycle, break out of the mold, whatever the case it is. Oh, you really think that's going to happen? Oh, I don't know, maybe. That only happens in movies and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you know? So things like that, it's very exhausting and it's like very dream killer-ish. So it's best to separate yourself from that kind of energy. Just because they feel like they can't, they will make sure that you cannot also. And you need to be careful. Alright? I had a dream that a lot of you are around people that are making you miss the train. But it's interesting because even though that may be the case, you're still getting help. I had a dream, it was a whole thing, man. It was a whole thing. Alright, I'm going to start pulling cards. I'm also getting never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. I believe that is in the Bible. Someone wants to know what you're doing to create, or how you're creating. But the thing is, they don't. It's like so someone could be like, oh, how did you make this pie? Right? It's delicious and it looks amazing, right? It looks amazing, smells amazing, tastes amazing. How did you make this pie? And you'll tell them, oh, well, in order to make the pie, you got to start with the crust, make the crust, blah, 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 and then you put the crust in the tin or in the pan or whatever, right? And then you make your filling, blah, 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 blah. Then you measure out your filling, and then you got to put the top on, and then you just layer the tops into whatever design you want, and then you pop it in the oven for so amount of time. Then you take it out, you let it rest, blah, blah, blah. You could be telling anybody, whoever this person, whatever this energy is, this person, these people, you could be telling them this exact thing. Or you could even be showing them how to make this pie, right? And they will still say, oh, yeah, I don't know, that's just too much. That's too much work. It's too much work for them. Okay, fine, sure. But you have no problem making this pie from scratch. It's not a problem for you. You could do it, blah, 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 right? It's not a problem, right? But then they get mad because you're willing to go out of your way to build it from scratch, and they would I'd rather just buy the pie. That's just too much. But you just asked me how the process is, and I feel like a lot of it is, it's like they want you, a part of them is like they don't believe that you did it. They don't believe that you made this pie, you did this thing, you made this business, you're whatever. They don't believe that you did it. So a lot of the times it's like, there's people that want to see the process out of inspiration, which is great, right? And then there are people that want to see the process because they don't believe that you did it, right? And it's like, you'll show them, and they're just like, oh, well, that's just too much for me. I don't want to do all that. But one of the reasons why they want to, by the way, I got these pamphlets, like, in my neighborhood. I went out to run some errands, and then I came back. And I noticed on all the doors on all the houses in my neighborhood, they had like this little plastic bag with all of these Jesus pamphlets on them. And like a letter, and it was like a church that was like, they do that every now and then, like, especially like if it's like a new church in the area or something. There's a point to that, but I have to get the other flyers. But let me finish what I'm gonna say, because I don't want to, like, right? So, and a lot of the times they want to see the process because they want. It's kind of like they can't believe, or they don't want to believe that that somebody they know, right, or that they grew up in, or in the same environment, or in the same community, or the same background, somebody they know created something. And to these people, and it's like, if you want to be lazy, go ahead and be lazy, right? If you want to know the process, yeah, this is how you make this pie. This is how you make this ice cream. This is how you build this house, right? And a lot of it is just to test to see if you really know what you're doing, right? Like, A lot of these people, they're kind of dumb too. They're not like dumb like they need assistance or anything like that. They're just kind of dumb as in like whatever knowledge that they have acquired up until now in this point of their lives, whether they're 20 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old, 60 years old, 50 years old, 70 years old, whatever knowledge that they've acquired at that point in their life. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. It's to them, it's like they're good, right? They have no interest in like learning anything else or like doing research or like they will. Like I just said, they ask you, like, because the pie that you made or the house that you build or whatever, it looks amazing. It's, wow, it's amazing. It looks amazing. It tastes amazing. It feels amazing, whatever the case it is, right? So they want to know how you did it. You'll tell them the process, and they'll be like, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather just go buy a house, or I'd rather just go buy a pie. Like, that's just too much work. A lot of it's just to prove, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just... It's really annoying. It's just to prove that you know what you're doing. It's because they don't know. A lot of it, they don't know what they're doing in their lives. They don't have any ideas. They don't have any inspiration, and they don't feel like it. They don't feel like finding their spark. They don't feel like finding their inspiration, right? And these are the same people that be like, oh wow, like they'll feel some type of way because people are reaching their goals and dreams and aspirations and doing one thing and doing another and doing another. That people are doing that, right? And it makes them feel good because these are people that they don't know. It's like maybe on social media that they see this, right? So it makes them feel comfortable and makes them feel safe in their excuses. Like, oh, it's just because of my job, or it's just because of my environment, it's just because of how I grew up, or my opportunities. It makes them feel safe to have these excuses. It allows them to keep these excuses to be poor. There's nothing wrong with being poor. I'm just saying, like that quote that I read, poor people tend to stay poor because they're afraid of other poor people judging them for trying to be rich. So then here you are, right? The same person from their environment, and you're not using those excuses. You're doing something. Oh, well, how'd you do that? And you're doing something different. So they feel some type of way. And it's also it's you could be growing up, or you came from the same environment, background, family, neighborhood, whatever, but because you are the process of whatever it is that you're doing, your entrepreneur, your business, your house, your cooking, your career, your skills, your talents, whatever it is. And it's like, okay, well, if you want to see the process, I'll show you the process. And it really shows that you are really putting in the work, that you are really, like, you're out here doing it. Like, and it shows, like, you can either live in your excuses and be lazy and go buy the pie at the store, which is fine. That's why pies are at the store. You can go buy the pie. That's fine. Or if you really want to, like, do something and feel good about it, you can bake the pie from scratch. Either option is great, but you can't get mad for someone else for choosing a different option because of how it makes you feel. Like, if you feel like, oh, it's too much, I'd rather just buy the pie. Okay, that's fine too. Store-bought pies, they taste pretty fine too. But don't get mad at me when I'm like, oh, I want to build this pie from scratch. Like, don't be like, oh, wow, you're really going to build a pie? You're not going to get tired? You're not... Wow, that's just, I don't know, that's just too much work for me. I don't know, I couldn't do it. That's fine. It's that kind of energy that's just like, ew, go away. Alright? That kind of energy, you need to stay away from that kind of energy. Go away from that energy. Because they will always make you feel some type of way about wanting to, like, put in the extra mile, wanting to put in the extra oomph and whatever, right? These are very spiritually lazy people. Very, very lazy, very complacent in life. They don't have any interest in learning anything new, doing anything new. Alright, and these are the same people that be like, oh wow, I wish I could do that. Oh wow, I would like to do that. Oh wow, but they're not actually doing anything about it. And then here you are doing something about it, and right, and a lot of the times you doing something about it, it puts into perspective that, like, where are the excuses? Oh, I wish I could. I just don't have the time. Oh, I wish I could. I'm just on time. Oh, I wish I could, but I have kids and I have a job, I have responsibilities, and blah blah. You could very well have kids as well, collective. You could have more kids than them. You could have more responsibilities than them, but you're still making whatever you want to make happen. You still make time for it. So again, that puts into perspective. You can either live in your excuses or do something about it, right? And these are the same people that you doing something about your wishes, your goals, and your dreams. It makes them mad because it's kind of like you can make all the excuses you want, right? But like you can so there is this girl that I follow on social media, and she makes like these beautiful hairpins, and she has her own shop. She's got a husband, she's got 4 kids, and she makes like these hairpins, and I think it's like, and her whole vibe is like fairy, and like it's like princess, and like she makes women, she's like very empowering for women and uplifts women. One thing I would say, I love strong women. There's nothing I admire more than a strong woman. Oh man, women in uniform, women in position, women in power, strong women I will always admire. I don't know why 1616, but there's something about strong women that I'm just in awe of. I will always be in awe of strong women. All right, and I can easily sniff out a strong woman versus a weak woman. It's just the same thing with men. I can sniff out a strong man and a weak man, but anyways, that's not the point. Anyways, but so yeah, this woman, right? Her name is Abigail. I think she's Palestinian or something. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. But I was just watching a video about how someone had commented on one of her videos saying, well, her husband is loaded, so there's nothing she's really worried about or missing out on, right? But the reality of the situation is that she, despite having a husband, making her home, having 4 children, she found the time to, even if it meant that she had to sacrifice sleep for herself and rest for herself and some self-care for herself, she found the time to make her business, and she did, right? And so, like I'm saying, you can either be, oh, I have kids, I have to, you can, yeah, that's okay, you can be all in that energy, or you can be like, okay, well, so this is done now, even if it's like 20 minutes, work on your craft or your skill or your business or your homework or whatever. Even if it's just 20 minutes, you find the time. If you really want to, you can. So right now, it seems as though the collective is around people, or was recently around people, that they just really don't want to. They don't want to. They want, if it's not like that, you know, I'd rather just buy it at the store. Okay, that's fine. They have secrets and they are being revealed. You were right. No, you were meant to shine. Yeah, that's on the bottom of the deck. It says you were meant to shine. So I feel like the people, these could be like old friends, because I've been seeing a lot of my old high school friends in my dreams lately. And the one in my dream last night in particular, I was in the train station and I was getting on a train, and like I had everything, I was getting ready to go on my train, blah blah blah, but I had to go down to get my ticket, whatever. And interestingly enough, I saw my sister in my dream too, and weirdly enough, lately in my dreams, she's been supportive in my dreams, which is a very interesting turn. But I've noticed that one of my sisters has been very supportive in my dreams lately, which I'm not complaining. Okay, I appreciate the support. So thanks, I like that. But I see one of my old high school friends in my dream lately, and the train, whatever, and she was like, oh, let's go wait in my car. Let's go wait in my car until the train comes. And me, I'm thinking, oh yeah, because, you know, we're friends, obviously, whatever. And I must have like taken a nap or something, right? And the next thing I know, like, oh, the train's about to be here, we should go back to the train station. And she's like, okay, whatever. So we got out of the car, and she got this I don't know where she pulled it out from, but she pulled out a motorcycle from her trunk, right? And she got on the motor. I'm like, where are you going? She's like, I'm going to the train station to catch the train before I miss it. And I'm looking around. I'm like, what? And I'm looking around, and she parked nowhere near the train station. It must have been like a block or two away, and the train was coming any minute. And I'm like, wait a minute, what am I gonna do? Like, why'd you park so far away, right? And I'm like, can I hop on your motorcycle with you? She's like, no, there's not enough room. And I'm like, wow, so you literally, like, you parked so far away, knowing that you had a way to the train station, and you kind of just like left me out here. So, and it felt very deliberate, very sabotagey. But it was alright because I ended up getting rescued. I had a bunch of like support that I never even thought I had support, and like they just helped me, and it just turned out even better anyways, for the dream. But that was very interesting. Like, you have people around you whose secrets are being revealed in terms of like sabotagey or something like that. They have secrets and they are being revealed. So the secrets could be that there was like secret animosity or secret anger or secret like feelings of you being very ambitious, chasing your goals, your wishes and dreams, and achieving them, right? And you were always, the card disappeared again. You were always meant to shine. That was always your path, no matter how many people, how many friends tried to sabotage you, right? And a lot of it is because they just don't feel like it. They just don't have the spiritual strength, the mental fortitude, the will, the wants. And that's fine. Nobody's judging them, right? But they can't get mad at you when you're like, I want to build this pie from scratch. I want to do that. Why you really want to build a pie from scratch? You're wasting your time. That's just too much work, and you're not going to be tired. And be careful of people like that. All right, that's exactly how they feel, and they have secrets and they are being revealed. Ooh, not stressing, insecure. Not stressing came out, and insecure. So some of the secrets that these people have of how insecure they are in their own abilities, their own intelligence, their own strength, their own skill set. They're very insecure about this, and a lot of you could have been seeing this, or these secrets could have been revealing themselves in the past couple years, how insecure they are, how competitive they are, how self-imposing or self-debilitating they are. Like, they block themselves, they stop themselves, they make excuses for themselves, and they do things where they are comfortable in those excuses. And you realize, okay, I can't be around that. That's not, and at the end of the day, you're not stressing. If you want to build that pie, you're going to build that pie, and you're not going to let anybody tell you anything, and like, you're fine. They don't want to build a pie because maybe they're just like, oh, I don't know how to build a pie. Oh, I'm not good at baking. I did a reading yesterday, and in the reading I mentioned like an example. Oh my gosh, an example was like cooking. Like, oh, I don't know how to cook, and I don't cook because I don't know how to cook. And it's just like, well, I can teach you. Yeah, but then I just don't have the time, and then it's like a mess, and blah 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 blah. Like, if you just don't want to, then just say that. You don't have to make excuses to make yourself feel better. Because if you really wanted to learn how to cook, you would. If you really want to learn how to drive, you will. If you really want to learn how to ride a bike, you will. If you really want to learn how to run a business, you will. If you really want to go to school, you will. You will make it happen, right? And you can easily tell people who really want to make things happen versus people who want to be like, I just don't have the time, or I don't know. And like, I've seen single mothers go to school, be a mom, have a job, pay bills, right? They will make it happen versus single mothers who, I want to go to school, I just don't have the time to go to school, but they want a high-paying job, right? Or single fathers, or, couples who want to buy a house, right? But they're both living on minimum wage, but they will make it happen. Versus a couple who's, we just don't have the finances, and we just can't. People who really want to make things happen, they will make things happen. But you have to be careful though, because these are people who, they say they want to make things happen, but they just don't have the will, the energy, the ambition, right? They just, it's kind of like they gave up. Like, if I haven't made it by now, then I'm never gonna make it. And it's just like, why would you think like that? Why would you take yourself out of the running when you haven't even started the race? Not a race with you, collective, just like you're not even trying and you already gave up. Be careful of being around people like this. And for a lot of you, these are people from your past, from your childhood, your school days, right? Grade school, elementary, high school, middle school, college even, maybe. Soulless Vagabond on the bottom of the deck. These are people that they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They don't really have, like, they don't know what to do with their energy, their purpose, their time, their energy. These are people that basically they're going to spend like the next 30 years drinking and gossiping and hooting and hollering and being bored and not really, and being envious and bitter, and I don't know, it's just really, and being insecure. That's not your problem because you're not stressing about it. It's crazy because these are people that, like, they'll spend a whole year buying pies from the store, and you spent a whole year learning how to bake a pie from scratch, and on the last day of the year, right, on the last day of the year, you finally learned how to bake that pie, and they're still buying store-bought pie, and they feel some type of way. Wow, I can't believe you spent all that time learning how to bake a pie. Yeah, but now because I know how to make this pie, I know how to make 10 billion different kinds of pie because I know the base of it. So now I can make this pie, I can make quiches, I can make casseroles, I can make this, I can make that. And all they're limited to is store-bought pies. Like, yeah, it may have taken a whole year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but you just opened doors of opportunities and possibilities for yourself because you really wanted to. So now because you learned how to bake pies, you can get a job at a high-paying restaurant, right, as their most revered pastry chef or whatever. I don't know. And you're getting paid the big bucks. Capricorn energy. So this is something about your reputation, your social status. All right. Career, public status, legacy, honor. This is what you're leaving behind. This is what you've been working on and gaining. You're not stressing about anything. These people from your past are really worried about your reputation, right? About your career. Also, Capricorn, I don't know if people really know this or not, but Capricorns, when it comes to money, listen, I love all the zodiac signs when they're in their south node, or when they're in their north node. Granted, a lot of them can be quite amusing when they are in their south node, but it's just because it's like, wow, you're really acting like that, all right? But that's a whole different thing. But I like all the zodiac signs when they're in their north node. All right, I appreciate them all. I think they all have great, like, everybody can learn from everybody. All right. People may not know this. Capricorns, when it comes to romantic relationships, it may not be, but when it comes to business, a Capricorn in their north node, when it comes to business, let me tell you, you want a Capricorn on your side in their north node. You want a Capricorn in their north node on your side when it comes to business. They will help you run that like no tomorrow. They're really good at business, right? They're not complacent about their finances, about structure, about the business. They're not. And I love that about Capricorns, right? My child is a Capricorn, and I know she's already, listen, it's so funny. So yeah, these people are worried about your business savvy mindset, your career, your finances, your reputation, what you're leaving behind. A lot of it has to do with the path that you have blazed for yourself. It's very noticeable because you're definitely leaving something behind. You're making a statement for yourself. So when you are no longer here, there's like evidence of you being here, right? And it's not only going to show because of you, but it's going to, with that whole legacy and honor, it's like you're leaving things for your children, right? So your legacy is going to live on in your children. Whereas when they, I hate to say it like this, but when they pass away, like, oh, rest in peace, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, they're just some, you know, I don't want to say they're forgotten, but it's like, it's not they haven't lived a very memorable life, or they have no, if they keep doing this, they're not exactly, it's not like, people remember the greats. I'll say that, okay? People remember the greats. So whatever you're doing in your life right now, collective, you're obviously, the card that said is you were meant to shine, right? And then with this Capricorn energy, that 10th house energy, career, public status, legacy, and honor. So when you're no longer here, your children, they're going to be able to have something from when you were, you know, in your lifetime, right? And then that they can utilize that to their children, and you're leaving something behind. And it's like, oh yeah, my great-great-grandfather started this business, or my great-great-grandmother started this business. It's like that, right? Versus, oh, Sally down the road just passed away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Who used to live in this house? I think a woman named Sally. Yeah, she passed away in this house. Oh, my condolences. It's like that. And I know that sounds really sad, and it triggers people because they don't want to be forgotten. But at the same time, they're not doing anything to implement their memory in the world. They're not, you know what I mean? And you are. Right? You took the time to build a pie from scratch, and now you're one of the best pie makers in the world, and you're going to be in cookbooks and this and that, and, you know, obituaries and blah, 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 blah. And so when you pass on, it's like you're going to have a plaque and this and that. And then meanwhile, your high school friends, they're passing away, and they're the ones saying, I went to high school, I went to middle school with that famous pastry chef. Right? And they're saying that, and people are asking them, oh, who are you? Who are you? Right? It's very sad. It's very sad. And then it makes them feel insecure because they're not memorable. And I can understand why. Like, it's very sad, but at the same time, that has nothing to do with you. You took the time, collective. Be proud of that. You took the time. They don't want to take the time. No one's judging them. But at the same time, they can't be mad when this is the outcome. They're not that memorable. They're not that great. It's because they're not doing anything to be so. They're making excuses to not be great, to not be, you know what I mean? And it's just, you can't involve yourself in that. They are dancing with the devil. I'm getting that, you know that one song by Doechi, Anxiety? They could be, first of all, that song, I haven't listened to the entire song, and I don't plan on it, but I have heard it, especially like on TikTok sounds or whatever. People don't realize this, but anxiety is a whole spirit. Anxiety, depression, grief, sadness. Like, yes, those are emotions and things like that, but like, people also don't realize that's a whole spiritual thing as well, and that spirit will feed on you, and it will make you, I don't know, I don't know, I don't even know how to, I don't know where to start, I don't know, I don't know, I'd rather just go buy the pie. Right? And you need to be careful, because those things on those people, they will like, there's so much in that energy, right? That you need to be careful, because before you know it, it's like a disease. Then you'll be like, yeah, maybe, you know what, I probably just won't even bake the pie. I'll probably just go to the store and buy a pie with you. $33.55. That's why you need to stay away from people like this, right? I'm not saying stay away from people who has like mental health issues, but definitely stay away from people who are rubbing off on you in a very negative way, right? Scorpio, 8th house. You could have been in this energy with them, and you changed completely with that 8th house. The first thing that says is transformation. So you could be a Capricorn, you could be a Scorpio, There could be a Capricorn or a Scorpio in this negative energy, like a karmic Capricorn, karmic Scorpio. Or the way you turn into this 10th house Capricorn energy, like the way you are operating in this energy. So Capricorns, I don't know if you know this, but Capricorn's animal totem is half goat, half fish, right? And that kind of represents, well, it represents also, like, goats are very, like, they're like very headstrong, right? If they want to climb that mountain, they're going to climb that mountain, right? But the thing is with Capricorns, if they want to get the job done, they're going to get the job done in order to be able to, that's their dream. Like, if they want to, for example, I don't know, if they want a new, very expensive purse, right? But they know that in order to get that expensive purse, they're going to have to clock in 60 hours at their job. They're going to clock in those 60 hours of job to get what they want. That's how they operate, right? And you're in this energy right now. You're doing what you have to do to get what you want. And it's showing that this is the path that you've been taking, and it's showing. And with this 8th house energy, I feel like these people from your past, they're watching you like you're on like the Discovery Channel or something, because they don't understand how you're able to be in this energy and you're not worried about anything else. You're not stressing about anything else. They don't understand that. They don't understand how you were able to heal, transform, how you were able to, like, not in like a gory sense, but sacrifice your old self. Like, you're like basically unrecognizable. You're a whole new person, and they don't understand how that happened, what you did, what happened. And at the same time, it's not really their business to know that, right? They're questioning it. They want to know. So that could be another reason why people want to see whatever process that you're doing. Like, how do you bake that pie, right? They can see you baking the pie, but they still don't. What's not clicking, Steven? They still don't understand how you even were able to bake that pie. Yes, we see you making that pie. Yes, we see it. But they're still baffled at how you were even able to make the pie. They're not like, that's what I'm saying in the very beginning. Like, they don't believe it. They're seeing you build the pie, but they still don't believe it. It's like they're watching a pig fly, and they're like, I can't believe this pig is flying in my face. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And the pig's like, yeah, dude, I'm flying. Like, I'm literally flying right now in your face. Like, what do you want me to do about it? I can't believe you're flying in my face. I can't believe it. Yeah, alright, bye. They don't believe it. They can't, they cannot wrap their minds around this. They don't understand. Right? And it's really like, they're so wrapped up in their own insecurities, their own anxieties. They're so deep into those things, right? Again, they're dancing with the devil, insecure. They don't understand. Like, it's very sad, because like what you're doing is like you're doing the impossible, but the thing is, it's only impossible because they're still dancing with the devil. The devil is not going to let them see how great they could be, and they don't even care enough to fight the devil off. That's a problem. You can't even see how great you could be, right? What kind of legacy you could leave, what kind of honor you could be living in. You don't even see that because you're too busy, you know, dancing with the devil and being buddy-buddy and letting the devil tell you, no, you can't do this. You think you can't? No, just go buy the pie at the store. Just go buy the pie at the store. Right? And so the devil's telling them that. And they're telling you, you don't want to just buy the pie at the store and save time and energy. That's just too much work. You don't want to just buy the pie. It's easier that way, right? But God's telling you, no, you need to go make the pie from scratch. And you're like, you know what? You're right, God. I'm going to go make the pie from scratch. God's like, it might be easier. You might save time, but in the long run, when you start learning now how to make that pie a year from now, you're going to see why I've been telling you to make the pie from scratch. And now you are. And now people are seeing, wow, all because they learned how to build the pie from scratch. This is what's happening to them, and all these doors and all these opportunities and blah, 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 blah. And they don't get that. They don't understand because they're too busy listening to the devil. They want what you have. I feel like what they want is freedom, but they're too busy in that They're too worried about what other people are going to think about them. Because in that one song, she says, somebody's watching me is my anxiety. That's what she says. These people are too worried about a bunch of nobodies, what they're going to think about them. So put it like this. A bunch of nobodies are worried about a bunch of other nobodies. Like, how are you already, no offense, listen, I know this sounds really messed up, but this is the best way I can put it, right? Just an example, right? I'm not saying that they're not nobodies, but I'm just saying this as an example. These are a bunch of nobodies worried about what a bunch of other nobodies are going to think about them wanting to be somebody, right? Poor people tend to stay poor because they're afraid of other poor people judging them for trying to be rich. And you're like, okay, well, if I want to be rich, I'm going to try and be rich. And that's that, pretty much. Like, I want to do that. I'm going to go do that. You don't care. God said that I can do this, so I'm going to go do this. Right? They want their freedom to be able to do what they want to do. But for some reason, they feel like they can't. And it's because their insecurities are making them feel that way. And that's not your problem. Alright? So if you're watching and you want to know why you can't, it's because of that. Because your insecurities and you're dancing with the devil. And it's basically convincing you that you're not free when you are. And you're too worried about what so-and-so is going to think. And you can't, like, for what? I don't understand why. But okay. Free reverse. Look, it came out free reverse. It says, may your soul sing freely. And that's about having gratitude. That's what it says. They're not free. And because they feel like they're not free, they're being told, lightness, may the light lift you to the surface. They feel like they're not free because they're too busy dancing with the devil. They're trapped. They're confined. Okay, they're very insecure and stagnant and stuck. So they feel like they can't. They want to be free. They want to be able to do what they want. They want to be able to live out their dreams, goals, aspirations, and fly high and, right, be a star just like you, collective. That's what they want. But they can't right now because they're too busy dancing with the devil. And all they really want is what you have, which is freedom. I just seen 4242. That's it. They want freedom. But they're the ones that's putting themselves in a cage. And on top of that, because they feel this way, one of the biggest reasons to trap yourself is to not be, to not have gratitude for what you have. Right? They're not happy with who they are, what they have, where they are. They're not happy. They're not thankful, right? They're too busy dancing with the devil to thank God for the simple fact that they're even alive. For the simple fact that they're even, like, they have the possibility to be free, but they're not. They're just not grateful for anything. But then they want they want what you have. They want your freedom, your ability to go towards your dreams, and like it seems as though you have no blockages. They want that. But how are you going to want that when you're the one that's stopping yourself? You can't want to walk in God's blessings and still be holding hands with the devil. That's not, God's not, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, are you done? Like, man. All right. I'm gonna get tarot and then I'll close the reading because I just. Queen of Wands upright. This is how you're being seen. Very ambitious, beautiful, vibrant, attractive. You're in your very powerful, divine, feminine energy. very strong. You're not worried about anything. And at the same time, because you're the Queen of Wands, upright, you're very, very, very intimidating, right? They're looking at you sitting in your throne, and it's kind of giving the energy like you don't want this. You don't want this. And they know that. The energy that you are sitting in right now is very intimidating to these people. And these are people from your past. I'm also getting some of these secrets that they have and that they're being revealed is that they have always felt some type of way about you, but because you were not in this energy, this Capricorn not stressing energy, Queen of Wands energy, free, transforming, healing, because you were not in that energy before, you weren't intimidating, right? Like, yeah, they have potential, but I'm not worried about it because they're not even doing anything about it. So that makes me feel safe, because if they're not doing anything about their potential, they can live in their excuses and not do anything about their potential. So everything's good. Everyone's poor, right? You're poor, I'm poor, we're all good. Ha ha ha. Right? But you did something where you're like, okay, you're poor, that's fine, but you don't want to be poor, collective. I don't want to be poor. I want to have goals and wishes and dreams. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to get what I want. And that's what you did. Now you're in that energy. You're getting what you want. My ear is ringing. You're getting what you want. And it's making them feel some type of way. And you're realizing a lot of these people who just became complacent, a lot of these people could be in the same exact position as they were in high school or in college. Nothing has changed for them. Same shit, different day kind of energy. Right? But you're like making waves or doing something, or Wheel of Fortune upright. They want to be able, these people, they want to be able to be free to be in this Wheel of Fortune energy. They want this. This is what you have that they want. This Wheel of Fortune. Good luck, possibilities, change, finances, legacy, honor, success, right? Positive change, right? Things are moving in your life. It's moving. It's like the wheels are turning in your life. It's kind of like the wheels just kind of stopped in their life, and it's just collecting dust, and they've been doing the same thing that they've been doing every weekend. They do the same thing that they've been doing for like the past 5 years. The same thing. Going out and drinking, going out and drinking, going out and drinking. It's the same thing. It's just, right? But they're also the same people. Oh, I don't know. I have too much responsibility. I have too much this. But you're just like, okay, well, I'm gonna not do what you're doing this weekend. Ten of Cups reverse. These could be people that you had some sort of emotional ties to, that you grew up with, or that you felt very close to. Nine of Cups upright on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like you had to separate yourself from them emotionally. So it's kind of like one of the... Wow. So with this 8th house energy, that Scorpio energy is also about sacrifice and giving things up, right? Putting things to an end, right? Death, right? The death card in tarot is Scorpio. And it's not always like, meh, right? It's not always that. It's just ending things so that way new things can begin. So for a lot of you, I do feel like there are multiple people that you cut off emotionally, so that way you can be emotionally free, emotionally happy. Like you're in this Nine of Cups upright, and people are looking at you. You might not even be a fat person, right? But they're looking at you like you have a lot, right? Emotionally, you're being fulfilled to the point where it's like spiritually you could be, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you're so filled with emotions and love that it's like pouring, it's seeping out of you. It's like seeping out of you, right? And these people, they're not feeling it. They can't feel, even though, like, let's say you're like a fountain, like even though like you're seeping love and it's like dripping out of you, they can't feel it. They can't get close to it because you're so intimidating right now. They can't even, please may I have some of your love. They can't say that. They don't even know how to approach you, right? They can't even ask you for some of your love. It's like, so here's the thing, like when Scorpio people cut people off, like that's it. That's it. The end is the end, and that's that. And with the Ten of Cups reverse here, I feel like by you cutting them off emotionally, like that's it. It's like they're also realizing how much they depended on you emotionally pouring into them. They're realizing that you emotionally being invested in pouring into them and paying attention to them and being around them, it really, like, they're realizing how much it mattered. Like how, like, they're realizing, like, wow, like, all of this was from that person, the collective. All of this was that collective. And they don't feel it. And because you're in this energy now, because all your love is for you, all your energy is for you, you're keeping it. But you have so much of it, it's pouring out of you. But it's not for them. It's for your legacy. It's for your career. It's for your ambitions, your goal, whatever. But you have so much, like, they can't siphon it. They can't drink from your well anymore. They can't. And they're realizing how much they depended on drinking from your well. And it's leaving them very depressed, very somber, very defeated, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, if they want to live in their excuses, that's fine. But that's not your problem. And you're not worried about it anymore. Maybe at one point, they could have been like, oh, I don't want to build the pie. It's just too much. I'm just going to go back to the store. You should just buy the store. Just go to the store with me and buy the pie. Because it's just going to be easier that way. And we can cut back on time. And for a long time, you could have been like, you know what? Yeah, I'll just go to the store and buy with you. You know what? Yeah, I just won't even build that house. I'll just go, you know what? Yeah, right. And not even buying the house. Like, I'll just buy the house. I won't build the house exactly how I want it. My dream house, blah, blah. I won't even do that. I'll just, you know what? Yeah. And you've been agreeing until they got to the point where you were just like, you know what? I want my dream house. You know what? I want to build the pie that I want to build because I want it to taste exactly how I want it to taste. I want it to look exactly how I want it to look, right? Because when you're buying store-bought pie, you have to buy what's available. It's already there, right? It could be a plain apple pie, and what you want is, you know, you want a raspberry rhubarb pie, and the top to be, you know, you want it to like flowers in a castle, and you can't get that at the store. So because you want it to be like that, you went out of your way to learn how to make that. And now because you learned how to make that, you can learn how to make like an apple blueberry pie with, you know, a nice train on the front and blah, 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 whatever, right? You opened doors for yourself. And these people are realizing how much they depended on your energy. And they were hoping, okay, well, you're not living your potential, so that's fine. But you are now. And they're realizing, wow, this is what it looks like when you're not insecure and dancing with the devil and being weirdly competitive. This is what it looks like. And feeding off of people. And Three of Swords upright. Yeah, so it's left you being in this energy. Excuse me. You being in this energy is leaving them like heartbroken and sad and despair. I hate to say this, but it does seem as though there's like people everywhere around you, and this Three of Swords, Ten of Cups reverse energy, right? So if you're in the same community as these people, there's multiple people. There could be like 10 people that are in this Three of Swords energy because you're in the energy that you are in right now. Alright? Or if this is your job, there are people in your job that feel this way. If there are people in your family, there are people in your family that feel this way. In your community, in your neighborhood, whatever. There are multiple people around you that feel this way, that they are in the Three of Swords because they are stuck in their insecurities and dancing with the devil. Hold on 1 second. Yes, baby. Hold on 1 second. Because Mama's almost done with this. There are multiple people around you, alright, that are seeing this with broken hearts and regret and sadness and depression and insecurities and anxieties. There are people around this because this they can't, and a lot of it has to do with like all they want at the end of the day. This is what they wish that they can have. They want this same energy that you are in. They want it for themselves. They keep wishing and wishing that they can have this. They keep looking at you like, I want that. I want that too. But you can't have this kind of lightness in your life when you're carrying the weight of the devil on your back. Lightness. May the light lift you to the surface. And this is about, if I'm not mistaken, this is about letting go. Yeah, this is about letting go. They don't want to let go of the devil for whatever reason. They don't want to let go. And that's what I'm saying. You can't. You want to walk in the blessings of the Most High God, but you're still holding on to the devil's hand. For what? The devil is not, like, they're holding on to him like as a crutch. That's what it is. They're holding on to the devil as a crutch because they feel safe and comfortable. But they're not. They're not. They're just holding themselves back. And they feel that way because that's all they've known. Right? That's something, it's familiar to them. The unknown, which is God, the Most High God, will always be unknown. Right? Will always be unpredictable. You never know when is when. But the devil's always predictable. And that's why people tend to be afraid of God and walking in God, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to have a tower moment or you're going to have and then when you do have that tower moment, is it going to be, are you going to have to pay karmic debt in order to get that blessing, right? You never know. Right? There's a lot of misery and sadness around you right now. But you are not worried about it, and that's really that's important for you not to worry about the sadness and depression of other people that are basically bringing it upon themselves. Like, I can't be worried about you being insecure about your life because you're not doing anything about it. I can't be worried about your sadness when you're sad because you want to be free like me, but you're not doing anything about it. You're not opening the windows and jumping out the window, metaphorically speaking. Don't really do this, right? You're not jumping out the window and testing out your own wings. I can't be worried about that, and I'm not going to. That's why it says not stressing. If you don't want to go towards your dreams and make them a reality, that's fine, but I can't be worried because you don't want to do that. You're afraid to do that, right? The worst thing that you can do is fail. And when that happens, like when you hit rock bottom, what's left but to go up? And these people are afraid to even fall, right? But when you fall, right, and if you hit rock bottom, you have to go back up. They're afraid of even falling. Oh, I don't know, because of this, and I just don't have the time, and I'm on. Nine of Cups reverse came out. That's fine. If you want to stay sad and not achieving your wishes and goals and dreams and stay trapped, and that's fine. Go ahead. I'm not judging you for that. But also, don't bother me. And don't come near me. And stay away from me. It's simple. Like, go be over there and be miserable. Don't bother me. If you want to be that way, I'm not judging you. That's your life. The collective has their own life to live. That's another thing too. Like, you're minding your business. Like, why are you going out of your way to like make me mind your business when I'm minding my business. Like, that doesn't make sense. You're minding your own business, collective, and these people are trying to go out of their way, out of their life, out of their business to get you to look at them. Like, I don't want to look at you. I'm good over here. Like, stop trying to get other people to look at you when you're not even looking at yourself. Yes, my love. I'm going to get one card and then I'm going to close the reading. One last card, I should say. King of Wands reverse. This could be one of the biggest people here. Could be a karmic masculine who's very depressed, feels trapped, feels stuck, heartbroken. Could be a karmic Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Or this person, these are people who don't know who they are. They don't feel free. They don't know what's going on. They're not confident. Right? And it's making them feel very lazy. Right? They don't know how to, I don't like cooking because I don't know how. Well, all you gotta do is just start boiling the water. Yeah, but then I have to clean it and it's just, alright, you know what? Don't talk to me. Bye. Go away. If you don't want to cook, don't cook. But don't sit in my face and complain how you don't want to cook and you don't like to cook and this and that and this and that. And don't sit in my face and complain about what you can or cannot do and what you don't and don't want to do. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Go complain to someone else who wants to complain with you. I want to be around people who can. I want to be around people who can do. I can cook. I want to cook. Let's learn. All right? That's the kind of people that you want around you, especially the energy that you're in. And these people are mad and are heartbroken because you don't want to be around them. Because no, why would I want to be around people who make excuses and can'ts? They find reasons to live out and justify their can'ts. I don't want that. All right? This is the reading. Bye.